Mr. Toastmaster, Club President, also my evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. My speech was somewhat of an extension to Keen. A lot of the points that he said were actually part of my speech. So pardon me if I have to use a few notes because I just scribbled a few during the time of the speech. Today, after my last speech where I talked about my journey as an intern, I told you guys, hey, I'm going to say something that might sort of help you guys get there. Today I'm going to talk about something that's very close to our hearts. Something that is very common amongst all of us because, okay, not all of us, most of us are all SIM students. And today I'm really going to talk about how we can really go about using the facilities that SIM has to actually get where we want to be, the industry or the sector that Keen has said, finding out what it is. Okay, before I begin on that, when I was in secondary school, as I was growing up, I had no idea about where SIM was, to be honest. I just knew, okay, there are 3 local universities, NUS, NTU, and somewhat SMU, and you have to get there. If you don't, oh, it's nothing there for you already. And so when I got the news that, hey, I have to go to SIM, the feeling was something that I want to describe, but it's very difficult to describe. So I'm going to ask a member of the audience how they felt when they realized that they got into SIM, couldn't get into local use. Can I have an evaluator, because I know he's listening to me. Just a sentence of how you felt when you realized you have to come to SIM.
Am I really going here?
Now, for me, okay, it was when I realized that I have to go to SIM, at first, it was a feeling of fear. Not knowing what is out there, knowing that, hey, I couldn't get into the local use, hey, what's going to happen to me? That fear gave way to sadness. The sadness of, shit, I can't actually do what I wanted to do. Pardon the use of the word. And that sadness morphed into anger. The anger that, why did I not do what I should have been doing, studying harder? Then I directed my anger at everybody else first. Cursed God, cursed everyone. Then I started cursing myself. When I started cursing myself, the feeling again changed to sadness. And it's when we are at our deepest points, when we are the saddest, that we find something that makes us human. We find the word hope. And it's that hope that makes us dream and it gives us that fire in our belly, where we feel like, oh my God, I couldn't get into locals, but I'm in SIM, and I hope I can still do something. So that's why I am going to do something about it. I do want to get there, get my dream job and everything. So that fire in the belly is the one that really prompted me to think about all the things that Keith said. I really did my research before I came. I knew I wanted to get into banking and finance. I really did want to do a lot of things. So that's how I started off. I knew I'm in SIM, but what's the point? I mean, I am in SIM, so I might as well make the best use of it. So now when I ended up in SIM, I wanted to prove to myself, hey, I want to do something. So the first thing that always comes to our mind, and I'm sure I echo everyone's thoughts, is I must study. Because why did I not get into local? Because I did not study. So I come here, I want to really study. Am I right? Right? So since I really want to study, that's when among many of us, we just tend to just study and not do anything. Yes, studying is the basic minimum that we should all be doing. Studying is a step in the right direction. But is that step big enough? Is it good enough? That is something we have to think about. Okay, think about. For example, this is a timeline of sorts. This is where your dream job is. Okay? Can I just get a shout out? What are your dream jobs, for example? Come on, I know you guys all have dreams. That's why you guys are here. So I love you guys. So.
Programmer.
Astronaut. Programmer. Then I know investment banker. Anything else? Tai, yes.
What's Tai?
Semuanya besar. Kipas dulu ya Hamzah.
Your 3 local university students are here. NUS, NTU, SMU. They are here. Can I know, this is how far they are from this dream job of yours. This is how far. Now, can I just get from you guys, where do you think SIM students are?
Somewhere in front. Somewhere in front.
Somewhere in front.
Somewhere near the
That's
start.
starting line.
Before the starting line.
halfway.
I personally believe that we are somewhere here. I'm being very generous. If you look at it, these guys are here, so this is how hard you have to work to get to this dream job. This is how hard you have to work to get to that same dream job. What does that mean? You have to work harder than these guys to get to here. Am I right? And to work harder than these guys, first of all, you must know what is it that they are doing in the first place to get here. And these guys are doing a lot, believe me. And I'm not even talking about your... I was at K. Shanmugam's talk yesterday, and he was talking about 30 million graduates from India and China. Those guys are 21, and they're already studying masters. So these guys are probably here. I'm not even going to talk about them. So, but again, you have to work a lot harder than them. So what is it that they're doing? How many of you have friends in SMU? Okay, from what I know, I hope this is as real as it gets, but SMU kids are actually sort of given a passport when they join, you know. But that passport needs them to have a certain number of chops to actually graduate. Those chops are career, okay, firstly the chops means you have to complete a certain number of internships. Internship, second point, community service. And the third and the most important one, they have to go through career prep workshops within the first year itself. Career preparatory workshops. Now these are the things that these guys are already doing, you know. And as SIM students, no, we don't get those passports. But do we actually need someone to hand us a passport to do those things? Do we? No, right? And that is what SIM students, I believe, should do. They should have that passport in their mind itself. Internships is a bare minimum. I have already talked about that in my previous speech about how useful it is to have an internship. Community service, of course you need it. Look at what Sideway is doing. I never knew this guy could even do that kind of thing. I remember there was this time at McDonald's, he would tell us like, that guy who fell, right? If somebody falls on the ground, the guys who actually go to help him are only doing it for the sake of the girls. That we shouldn't actually help them. He has changed, right? You need to show your employers future. I'm not saying that's what he's doing, but then again, community service is because I truly apologize, Ms. Timer, for going overboard. I would like to continue to deliver the message. But also, when community service is basically just to show that you're not just mechanical workers, you do have a heart, and that's what employers are looking for. Third, career preparatory workshops. That is something sort of angers me at times in the sense that SIM has career prep workshops every month for you guys. They have job search and skills hunt. They have introduction to assessment center, interview skills training, resume writing, all of that for you guys, free of charge. They even have one-to-one career coaching lessons. Part of your tuition fees is going to career services, ladies and gentlemen. Part of it is actually going to them. And career services is actually a very big group within SIM. And it sort of pains me at times when I go for these career prep workshops and I see maybe about 10 people, once a month kind of workshop, about 10 people. And I don't know if RMIT, UOB or the other students have fast-track careers, but I only see UO students there. I don't know why. And in one of these career prep workshops, Introduction to the Assessment Center, there's this guy called Mr. Stephen Chong, who does these kind of workshops in SMU and NUS. And he said, most of these workshops are actually directed at first years. And he just asked, what years are you guys from? First year was one guy, second year was me, one guy. The rest were all third years. And he said, these workshops are actually not for you guys because you guys are too late already. There's no point because there's a lot of networking that needs to be done. There's a lot of job searching and like what Keen said, a lot of research that needs to be done before you graduate, which most SIM students neglect until they realize, oh shit, I'm going to graduate next year. Sorry for the use of word shit. But yeah, that's what they do. Until third year. And he told us very simple, I'm still going to give the workshop, but in the hope that the third year students will go and tell the first year students to come and attend these workshops. That's what I'm doing right now. To make sure, there are different workshops like interviewing skills and everything, where they actually teach you how to prepare for an interview. My interview for my DBS internship back in December was a very weird one because it was just an internship position. But when I went for the interview, one guy came out and he said, hey, come into the room. I was expecting just him. And usually for an intern, it's just maybe a junior member who's interviewing you. I go in and there are like 4 of them. 2 vice presidents, 1 senior associate and 1 associate interviewing me. So it was a huge, it was like the biggest interview I've ever faced. That's why my exco interview was, I kind of talk hard because that was like the most toughest interview I've been through. And that was when I realized the skills that I picked up during these workshops, they help. Preparing for an interview, researching about your company, questions to prepare for the company. Sorry, I'm trying to research. And yeah, that's one thing. So this is what SIM students should, I believe that you guys should be attending these career prep workshops, because in the end, you can treat yourself like just an SIM student, just study, come out, try and get a job. You can let others treat you like just an SIM student, or you can do something a lot more and show the world, yes, I am an SIM student and I'm better than the rest, and I am working harder. Yeah, and that will be the end of my speech. Thank you.